So in this video, I will explain what is cost volume profit analysis. So let us look at the definition of cost volume profit analysis. This is a method of evaluating how changes in cost and volume will impact the operating profit. Okay, so let us see that in detail. That is, first you need to understand what you mean by cost. See, the cost means has got two components, that is variable cost and the fixed cost. For example, if a company is going to manufacture a product here, it will incur a fixed cost. That means it needs to make the plant, set up a plant, acquire land and set up the plant. This all comes under the fixed cost. And also for producing one unit, it needs to incur variable cost, like that is the labor, cost of the labor, then cost of the material, like that. These are called variable cost. So it consists of fixed cost and variable cost. Okay, so these are the components of cost. So what do you mean by volume? See, volume means the quantity, total number of units that is sold. That is called the that comes under volume. And what do you mean by the profit? Profit is equal to, so that is the sales. Okay, that is the total sales you have made. For example, you have sold Q number of quantities and the selling price is SP. So SP into Q will be your total revenue, that is the sales revenue, minus what is the total variable cost. That is variable cost into Q. For each unit you have a variable cost minus the fixed cost. So this will be equal to your profit, right? So this is how you define profit in cost to volume profit analysis. And this part, the sales minus the variable cost, this is equal to, this is called the contribution margin. This is called the contribution margin. Now let us try to understand cost volume profit analysis with the help of an example. So in this example, this Palmcore Limited is a business specializing in office stationery. They are currently analyzing the folder manufacturing division. In 2019, folders are sold at rupees 45 each. The variable cost to manufacture each folder is rupees 30, and fixed manufacturing cost are rupees 15,000, and other fixed costs are rupees 12,000. The total sales for the year amounted to rupees 90,000. Okay, so these are the changes that are expected in 2020, which we will see in the final part of this question. So we need to answer these questions. That is, first one is, what is the break-even level in units for 2019? So let us answer this question and then come back to the other questions. So what is the break-even sales? So break-even sales is defined as units is equal to fixed cost by contribution per unit. So so let us start from the basics. So that means you have the fixed cost plus variable cost into Q is equal to the total cost. Okay, so this will be a total cost, and sales minus total cost will be your profit, right? At break even point, the company is able to recover all its cost. So that means at break even point, this profit will be 0. So that is total cost is equal to sales revenue. So that means you can write fixed cost plus variable cost into Q is equal to, that is selling price into Q. And so Q will be equal to fixed cost by variable cost, sorry, it is selling price minus variable cost. Okay, And so this is defined as, we have seen that this is defined as the contribution per unit. So this is defined per unit. So that means Q will be equal to, fixed cost is 15,000 plus 12,000, and this is equal to 27,000 divided by selling price is 45 and variable cost is 30. So this will comes out to be, so contribution margin is 15, right? So it is 27,000 by 15. So it is 9,000 is equal to 1,800. So this will be your break-even quantity. Okay, this is how you find the break-even level. So this is 1,800. Okay, now coming to the second part. So how many folders need to be sold in 2019 if the target profit is 21,000? So again, let us start from the basic formula. So that means your selling price, that is sales revenue, minus the total cost, that is fixed cost plus variable cost into Q, is equal to your profit. Okay, so here the profit is given, that is 21,000. So we are going above the break-even level. So let us try to calculate it now. So that means, okay, so here it is directly given a formula. So it is better look it this way. So that means selling price into Q will be equal to profit plus fixed cost plus variable cost into Q, right? So that means Q is equal to selling price minus variable cost is equal to FC plus profit. Okay, so this is what they have shown here. So Q is equal to fixed cost plus profit by selling price minus variable cost, and this is your contribution per unit. So this is given by the formula, and if you substitute all the values, you will get the answer like this, that is 3,200 units. So this will be your this is the amount of folders, number of folders that need to be sold in 2019 for a targeted profit of rupees 21,000. Now coming to the third part, what is the margin of safety value and percentage? So let us see what exactly is margin of safety. Margin of safety is the amount of sales that exceeds the break-even point, or the amount of sales a company can afford to lose before it stops being profitable. Okay, so it is better to calculate like this, that is the amount of sales that exceeds the break-even point. So margin of safety value can be calculated as actual sales value minus break-even value. So we have already calculated the break-even sales as 1,800 units. So the break-even value will be is 81,000. So the margin of safety value is, so we have made a total sales of 90,000. So margin of safety here is 9,000. Okay, so if you have made a sales revenue of 1 lakh, so margin of safety will be 10,000. So higher the margin of safety, better it is for the company. And here the margin of safety percentage is calculated like this, that is 9,000 divided by the sales revenue. So it is 10%. That is the margin of safety percentage. Now coming to the final part, what is the break-even point for RANs in 2020? So situation have changed. Earlier we calculated the break-even point for 2019. Now we need to calculate the same values for 2020. So what was the change? So selling price actually got increased to 1.1 10% increase in selling price, so it has become 49.5. And variable cost per unit is now, it has increased by 20%, that is rupees 36, and contribution per unit is 49.5 minus 36, so this is your new contribution per unit. And the fixed manufacturing cost, it decreased by 10%, that is 0.9 into 15,000 is equal to 13,500, and total fixed cost is 13,500 plus 12,000. So this, there is no change in this 12,000. So the total fixed cost is 25,500. Okay. So now it is easy to calculate the break-even point, that is equal to fixed cost by contribution margin ratio. So contribution margin ratio can be found out by this is the ratio. So it is 0.2727. So new break-even point will be the fixed cost by the contribution margin ratio. So this is 93,500. See here we have calculated the break-even revenue. Okay, this is the break-even revenue. So you can calculate the number of units also, that is 93,500 divided by 49.5. If you do that, you will get the number of units.